heard you've been having some trouble with some dry rods on your Dane 1 and your Dane 2. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to lube up these rods so that way the pulley system on your Dane 1 and your Dane 2 are as smooth as possible. You're only going to need two things to clean and lubricate your guide rods for your Dane 1 or your Dane 2. The first is going to be a rag of some sort, an old t-shirt, microfiber cloth. Just try not to use any paper products like a paper towel or toilet paper. And the next and most important is going to be some sort of lubricant based oil like 3-in-1 oil right here, which you could also use to clean your barbells. But it doesn't need to be anything fancy. It could be this WD-40, and it doesn't even need to be the silicone based. Just as long as it lubricates, penetrates rust, and cleans, then you're set. So we're just going to use 3-in-1 oil and a rag. We sort of need to think of our gym equipment like cars. The longer and longer you drive a car without doing any maintenance work on it, then the faster it's going to break down. And that eventually might lead to a more expensive fix down the road because you weren't doing any upkeep work. It's the same thing with gym equipment, especially on the Dane 1 and the Dane 2. The guide rods are something that you're going to have to pay attention to. When you take these out of the package and you install them firsthand, you're going to notice that it's a little bit oily, it's a little slimy, which is a good thing because it leads to a much smoother motion, up and down motion for the cable system. But as you use the system more and more, you're going to notice it's going to dry out. And that's where lubricating it so often is going to make sure that the guide rods stay healthy, your pulley system isn't going to get stuck, and you're going to have great workouts. So let's start lubing up the rods. It's pretty self explanatory, but you want to be pretty generous with the amount of oil that you put on these rods. And don't drown it or anything, but put a good amount on one section. And then once you've got a good amount on there, just rub that oil in, go up and down the rod. And this is going to be the first pass through. You can get away with one, but personally, I like to do three. So we'll stick to that right there and tackle the other side. And if the oil starts to drip a little bit, that's really not that big of a deal because we're going to be putting it into the plate stack itself once we do a couple pass-throughs of this. Now that I've got both sides done, I let them dry for a little bit and I go back and forth between the two. Again, you could get away with one pass through, but I personally like to do three. That way, the guide rods stay nice and lubed for a longer period of time. That's two, and that's three on the other side, but we're not done yet. We're almost done, but now we're going to put some oil in this little channel right here where the guide rod sits into the plate stack. And you'll see exactly why I'm putting oil in here. After you got some oil in those channels, you're just going to set the pin to the lightest weight, so 10 pounds the top of the plate stack. And the reason I put the oil in those channels is because I'm only able to wipe down the part that's above those channels right there. So we want the oil to travel into the channel and lubricate the rest of the guide rod down there. So when you start to use those heavier weight stacks, then the whole rod is going to be lubricated. But just to make sure that the oil is being spread through and not being stuck in one place, that's why we set it to the lowest pin earlier. And we're just going to pull up and down on it. And that way the oil starts to travel a little bit further down the rod. And I'll just normally bring it to the top of the Dane just to make sure that oil is really going through. And once I've moved it up and down the rod a few times, I'll just wipe down any of the excess lube from the rods, and we're good to go. Whether it's a cable system like the Dane 1 or the Dane 2, a barbell, or really any piece of home gym equipment outside of plates, there's going to be a degree of upkeep and maintenance for these pieces of equipment. One, it's going to have your workouts feel so much smoother. The cables aren't going to lock up on you. The guide rods are going to be nice and lubricated. The barbells won't lock up on you when they're trying to spin. But two, and probably more importantly, you're going to be saving money in the long run because you're not going to have to go out and buy a replacement piece of equipment simply because of negligence and the lack of upkeep on that piece of equipment. So that's been a video on how to lubricate the guide rods for the Dane 1 and the Dane 2. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to drop it a thumbs up. It helps the channel out a lot more than you think, and it's free. If you have any further comments or questions, please be sure to leave them down below in the comments section. And if you want to see more videos like this, where we help you assemble pieces of home gym equipment or help you maintain any of your home gym equipment, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next one.